Welcome again. This is day 2 of how to start an NGO in 30 days. Day 1, we talked about the idea and how you could put some research to it and understanding what you need to do to really build this idea and what you want to do, this vision that you want to bring to pass, because you want to be the expert on the issue that you are addressing so that you can convince people to join you. If you want more information about that, just click on the cards to watch day 1. Today, we are going to be talking about what donors are funding. We were,
then the environment was cleaned up.
The first time I was hearing about this stuff, it was totally new to me.
And then with social impact consulting. You can do a test on what donors are funding. Ask your parents, ask your friends, ask your colleagues, would they fund an idea like this? Talk to them passionately about what you've come up with and what you're trying to do and if they can donate. If they seem excited, if they seem like they can give you some money on the issue, no matter how small, if somebody says, okay, I'll give you 1,000 naira, I'll give you 10,000 naira, I'll give you 100,000 naira, or the dollar equivalent. If they want to give you that kind of money, that is a good litmus test on whether or not you've come up with something. But if you're talking to them and they are looking at you like, is she speaking Yoruba or she's speaking Efik? If they're doing that, then you haven't really fleshed your idea well enough. Go back to day 1 and continue digging. This time around, you need to know what donors are funding. So once you've done that litmus test and people are willing to donate their time, their resources to what you're doing, then you're onto something. You can now research and understand, like, who's funding what I'm doing? Who is funding education? Find out from corporations, corporate Nigeria, corporate Ghana, corporate Cameroon. Find out whether or not they are funding this idea. Find out if international organizations are funding it. You know, the biggest donors right now in Nigeria is the USAID, FCDO, and the EU. So these are big bilateral agencies that fund implementing partners to contribute to various projects across the country with various thematic areas like health, advocacy, elections, agriculture, so many other interventions. So you need to find out whether they are funding what you're doing in particular. They may not be able to fund you directly. Find out which implementing partners, what kind of projects are being funded, and see if you can get in the door. You can also find out which other NGOs are working on this particular initiative, and then try to go to their free events to see what they're doing. This is an easy way to network and talk to people about what you're thinking about and how they can help. The development sector in Nigeria, they are extremely helpful. They want you to succeed. So if you approach them, they will be happy to work with you. Okay? So make sure that you're able to understand what you're doing, understand the donors and the donor climate. There are also private philanthropy. Which private philanthropic organizations are operating in Nigeria? You have the Clinton Global Initiative, you have the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, you have the Ford Foundation, you have the MacArthur Foundation, you have Open Society Foundation, you have Luminate Group, you have several private organizations that are funding initiatives in Nigeria. Does yours fit the bill? Check out the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Find out the various UN agencies that are operating in Nigeria. Do they want to fund what you're doing? Are they working with the various state and local governments? How can you add value? Okay, so usually donors fund value. What is your value proposition? If you're still not clear on that, go back to day 1 and research the issue. So what have I just talked about? You need to do a litmus test. Find out from family, friends, and people around you if they're willing to donate their time, their resources to what you're doing. If they are, then you're onto something. Then start researching on institutional donors that are willing to partner with you, like the corporate donors, like the bilateral agencies, the multilateral agencies, their implementing partners, or private philanthropy. So if you now find out that they are actually working on your specific thematic areas, then you go deeper and start to network in events that they are hosting across the country so that you can have your foot in the door. So once you've done your research on the donors and you feel like there's an alignment there, you can move on. See you in day 3. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Click on the bell notification so that you'll even be notified when I come on every day. I'll see you tomorrow.